I'm Maor Lipchuk. I'm a senior software engineer in the Overt storage team. And today I'm about to talk to you about the new V4, the new version for the storage domain, and basically on the qcow 2 compat, mainly from the Overt point of view. I will try not to go really deep into the QEMU and what it does, because it's really another issue and another issue that we can discuss about it for for quite some time. But I will mainly show the logic in the engine, how it works, some logs. So let's start. Oh, and one other thing, if you have any questions, I'm actually in the middle of the presentation. I might miss some of your questions in the chat, so I will try to look from time to time about questions, but you will have time at the end for questions, and if something is not clear. And you can, of course, always send me an email later with other questions that we can discuss on. Okay, so we're going to go through the upgrade process, through the API and the GUI, how the upgrade is being done, how can we verify the upgrade, again, through the API, through the GUIs, maybe through the logs, and from the metadata of the storage domain. We're going to go through then about the qcow 2 version, on the compatibility version of the qcow volumes. I'm going to show a few words about the new APIs and the new commands that were introduced in the engine and in the VDSM. And I'm going also to show the qcow 2 volume upgrades. How can we upgrade now to the new compatibility version of 1.1? And then I'm going to show some troubleshooting. How can we see if a volume was upgraded with success? And then we will have some questions. Okay. So the upgrade process, basically it's the same as it was always. We first upgrade the clusters. There is a way to do it through REST. There is a way to do it through the GUI. Sorry for the bumping video there, but you got the idea. We should first upgrade the clusters of the data center. If we have a 4.0 version of a data center, we upgrade the clusters first, each cluster. Then we upgrade the data center. And basically, this is the upgrade process. So what's unique about this upgrade process to 4.1? So there are no changes in the upgrade process. The upgrade process is basically the same. We upgrade the cluster, we upgrade the data center, same as we did for 4.0 or for 3.6. ISO and export storage domain are not reflected from this upgrade, although data storage domains will now be upgraded to version 4. Until now, data storage domains were with version 3, and version 4 basically introduces us a new configuration capability to use qcow 2 version 3. So after the upgrade process, basically all the new qcow volumes that we'll be creating, which could be snapshots or could be in provision disks, will be created with compatibility level of 1.1. And the existing qcow volumes will be with the 0.10 compatibility level. Basically, the compatibility level, we will talk more about it later, but any qcow volume has two compatibility levels, 0.10 and 1.1. From the DB perspective, all the clusters and data centers will be updated to 4.1, and there will be new field, which is called the qcow compat in the images table, which will indicate which compatibility level this volume is. Which compatibility level the volume is. Okay. After the upgrade process, we want to verify that the upgrade was done successfully. So we can verify it through REST, as so, just the center and see the marked major and minor version there. From the GUI, we can just press edit on the data center, see the version. And we can also verify it through the logs. There is the engine logs and the host logs. And you can see here that from the host logs, we call the upgrade storage pool. Basically, how it's been done all the time. We send him a target DOM version of 4, and that basically changed the metadata of the storage domain. Now, if you want to look into the storage domain and see what kind of metadata does it have? You can use it for example, for the block storage domain. You can use the command vgs-o tags, then you will see all the metadata of the storage domain, and you can see here that, for example, this is have an MDT version of 4, which is the storage version. And in the NFS, you can just see the metadata file location, which is in the DOM, which is basically the DOM MD. And here you can also see that there is a version 4 there of type NFS. Okay. So a few words about qcow2, and again, I'm not going to deep dive into how the QEMU use it and what is what they done there with the tables, because they done many things, but it's mainly regarding tables and the efficiency and features. So I will just go over it quickly. So basically, the qcow image format is one of the disk image formats supported by the QEMU processor emulator. It's basically the qcow2 version 3 is an extension of the qcow2. It's the same fundamental structure. It's basically just a configuration. You just change it from 2 to 3 or from 3 to 2, and it should have a backward compatible, and it's really easy to change it. Also really easy to upgrade from the qcow2 to qcow3. Basically, what it means is that the qcow image format, it includes a version number that allow introducing new features that change the image format in an incompatible way. So newer QEMU versions, like 1.7 and above, support a new format of qcow2 version 3. And this basically what it means is that the QEMU versions will be compatible with this qcow version, and we can use basically the new features with this version. Okay, so the specification for the qcow2 version 3, this is based on Kevin Wolf patch. So it contains mainly the following changes: added compatibility and compatible auto-clear feature bits, plus an optimal feature name table to allow useful error messages, even if an older version doesn't know some feature at all. This is again from the specification of QEMU. I'm just going to go over it quickly. We have a configurable ref count width. If you don't want to use internal snapshots, it makes ref counts 1 bit and save cache space and I/O. We have the zero cluster flags, which allows discard even with a backing file that doesn't contain zeros. We have fixed internal snapshot metadata and extended internal snapshot metadata to contain the disk size. So basically more efficient and have capability to support new features in the future. Okay, so let's see how can we be practical with overwritten VDSM. Let's say that I have a volume and I want to know which version is it from the host itself. We can use the QEMU image info that show me the compatibility shown here, basically. It's the compat 0.10. And we can also see it from the REST API from Overwrt. Basically, we only display this version from the REST API. Currently we don't display it from the GUI. Since it's basically internal, it is mostly through the REST, and also I will show you later how can we upgrade the version later from the REST. So this, for example, is another disk, and we do a REST API, and we can see here that the qcow version has a qcow2 version 3. Okay. You can also see it from the DB. If you want to see, this is the new column that was added, the qcow compat. It has values of 0, 1, and 2. 0 is basically means this is undefined. This is for raw. If I have, for example, an image which is a raw format, it doesn't have a qcow compat, so it's undefined, and we won't see it in the REST, response. 1 means that this volume is 0.10 compatibility level, and 2 means that this is a new volume that was created and it has a 1.1 compatibility level. One second, I see that I have. Thanks, Marina. Okay, so let's go forward. Okay, so we have a new VDSM API. We have amend volume that we introduced. It supports amending an old qcow compat to a new compat level using the QEMU image amend. And the QEMU image amend is basically an operation that can upgrade and downgrade existing images. It can also downgrade it. We can have, for example, a qcow compat which is 1.1, and we can downgrade it to 0.10, and it should be valid and it should be supported by QEMU. So there is no worry about it. Although I'm not sure why would the user want to use it, but you can never know. But it's good to know that we can also downgrade it if they will have a problem. And we also have a new API. One second. Which is called the get qcow volume info. It returns an output with the compatibility level of the volume by the QEMU image info. So when, for example, we would be using, would we use it? When we create a snapshot or some kind of a new volume through Overwrt, then once this volume is being created, basically what the VDSM is doing is that it creates the volume, and then it checks whether the storage domain is version 4. If it's version 4, then it will create it with 1.1 compatibility version, the latest compatibility version. And then the engine will ask VDSM after he finished creating the image, what compatibility version was this image created with, and we will update the database with this compatibility version. Okay. There are two engine commands, which mainly being used for getting the for upgrading the disk. For example, an existing disk which was created on a 4.0 data center, and now we upgraded the data center and we want to upgrade it also. So we use the amend image group volume command. What it basically does is that we give it a disk, and what the engine does is that it goes for each volume in the disk, which is qcow, and try to call the VDSM to amend it. So for example, if we will have 4 snapshots or 5 snapshots, we will call the amend image group on this disk, and then the amend volume command will be called for each volume. Okay, so let's see how the upgrade is being done. Okay, so first of all, this is the basic command. This is the command that's being done through the from the host. This is the qcow image amend command. Okay, in the amend operation, we just called amend. We use a compat of, for example, 1.1. We can use 0.10. And then what it basically does is that it changes the version of the compatibility level, which is just 1 bit change, and also add additional bits that's being used with the qcow2 version 3, like new features or what mapping of the new features is supporting. So here you can see that the queue, after we do amend, we use info, and then we can see that the compat has changed. Through the rest, we can use this. This is the way we upgrade. We just call the QEMU the disk from the rest, and just point out the qcow version. We have 2 qcow versions. It's qcow2 version 3 and qcow2 version 2. And this is how it's being done. Now I'm going to show you a small video of 2.5 minutes that will demonstrate how we do that and how it's being done. So, okay, here you can see the disk. We have a disk and it has 4 snapshots. And let me know, by the way, if it's not clear or too small, and maybe if we will have time, I will show you a live demo at the end. So I'm going to show you here that we have the Postgres. We can see here, you see all the qcow compat is 1, which means that all the volumes are 0.10 compatibility level. Now we're going through the rest. We do this command that I showed before. So now what happens is that the engine starts working on each volume and send the qcow amend. So you can see here through the tasks, we can see every volume. See, there is 2 volumes that it was already done. Now the 3 is finished successfully, and the 4th. So now all the volumes, no, the 5th, yeah. All the volumes were amended successfully, and so now basically, if we will do again If before we had the qcow2 version 2, now it's being changed to qcow2 version 3, and you can see that all the volumes in the storage in the disk will be changed to 2. Okay. You can see the logs here. This is part of the logs, part of the indication of that an upgrade was being done. We have here the SDM amend volume from VDSM that basically called the QMA image amend. And from the engine, we can see that we call amend image group volume, and for each one, it's using jobs. It has, you can see that it has like 5 childs, which are basically the 5 snapshots, and it indicates that it's starting child command 1 of 5, and running the command with amend, and basically starting to call the VDSM to use the amend. Few things that I want to indicate. I want to go back to here. Yeah. As I showed you before, we had the qcow compat. So, for example, you saw before in the video that everyone changed to 2. 1 second. If this was covered, but when.
Yeah, Maur. Yeah. Sorry, I can hear myself. Also, to add to this question, like we're not supposed to do this automatic manually, right? It probably happens when you change the data center to V4, or we are supposed to do this automatically. This conversion, the amend command.
Yeah, so it won't be automatically. We don't want to use this change automatically because basically it's a change that is in the metadata, and we don't want to do it for the user like on the way. For now, we wanted just that it'll be more cautious, more safe way. We just new volume we just created as 1.1. But if the user had a VM, an old VM, which has old volumes, we don't want to change them. He might be satisfied with this VM and he don't want to risk it, so we let him change it himself. I think for the future plan that we might want to do some kind of utility that will go over the volumes, and through the rest, they can do it automatically, or some kind of external utility.
So Maur, so what's happening now? I upgraded from 4.0, let's say, to 4.1. I changed data center type to 4.1, so now it can support V4. But all the qcow existing images are still version 2, right? And nothing happens. So if I want to do anything, I need to do what? Right click on a disk and do amend? What's the workflow?
No, so okay. So first of all, you can create a volume or create a snapshot, and then you will basically the active volume, the active one which the VM writes on it, will be with the compatibility level of 1.1 because it's a new volume. Now, if the active volume is with compatibility level of 1.1, we benefit from the performance basically the version gives us. So if we have a new volume or a new snapshot, then the user can benefit from it. And if the user has a VM that has all disks and he doesn't want to add new disks or new volumes, he can basically do the amend operation. And what the amend does is basically changes all the volumes to 1.1. So after that, he will benefit from the features and from the performance of the new qcow2 version 3. I see that. Is that okay, Marina? Is it answered, or maybe
Can
you
we
want?
read? There are a few questions.
Yeah. I wanted to first because you asked, and I want to go over the question as you said. If you're done, or you know, let's go through the question and we go back. So when the conversion, Derek is asking, when the conversion is triggered. Yeah, okay. So the conversion, if it was the same as Marina asked, so it should be manually or when we create a new volume after the upgrade, of course, or snapshot. The amend can, another question from Derek. So the amend can only be triggered from the API at this time. Yes, it could be only from the API. We are not reflecting it from the GUI. That's a decision that was made, because it's basically a qcow header definition change, and we didn't want it to be that that reflected in the GUI, same as we do for qcow and other stuff from the header. Yeah, okay. So Marina, I was trying to clarify. Okay.
Yes, and also one thing that is concerning me a little bit here, I hope QE tested well enough. I don't know what happens. So we have a disk, right, with multiple volumes in a chain. Some of them are qcow2, some of them qcow3. I'm just scared of all the possible scenarios that can happen once the customer try to do try to merge and delete snapshots. I hope this was covered, or any implications that you can see.
Yeah, you're right. So this is indeed a situation that can basically be done when the user will do merge, because merge is, if I'm not mistaken, it was changed from rebase to commit, or I always get confused from that. But the problem with this is that if the user has for example, a new volume or a new snapshot, and it was created with 1.1, and then it tried to delete the snapshot, then we might have run over the qcow compatibility version to 0.10. But that is why we basically say that you can use the amend to change all the volumes, all the volumes of the disk. But basically, the disk QEMU is a guarantee that we can use mixed volumes, mixed compatibility versions in one volume chain in a disk. So we can have a disk, for example, with one volume which has compatibility version 1.1, the other one is 0.10, and it guarantees that it should be supported. Another thing, mainly the benefit of the performance is being done on the active volume, on the volume that is being written data to. So this is the main benefit for now that we have. So okay, you know what? I will continue on the presentation, and at the end, if something is still not clear, we can discuss more about it, if that's okay with you. Okay. So yeah, so we ask also for the amend operation, so that can be seen. Sorry. Slides. Yeah. Okay. So that can be seen here. This is the REST API, how that we amend all the volumes in the disk, and again, this is the video that demonstrates how it's being done. Again, if you will have time at the end and you would like me to show you how we do it live, I don't mind to do that also. Okay. Okay, so regarding troubleshooting, so a few things. We can basically check the DB for the volume format and qcow version. Most of the QA questions that I got was that, for example, they trying to check the volume qcow compat and they don't see the field there. I will go back, for example, to show you it. And okay, so from here, for example, you can see that there is a qcow version of qcow2 version 3. The thing is that you need to know is that for volumes which are not qcow, which are raw, we don't have this volume. So you won't see this field there because it's not qcow. That's just, things that the QE asked me, and I thought that maybe a user will probably bump into it. Another thing that you might want to see is that after, for example, we create a volume and something got wrong, I don't know what, but there is no qcow version or we don't see it, and it is a qcow volume. You can just do a select on the database that will show you the qcow compat as I showed before, and this will basically show us also the qcow compat and also the volume format. I showed it here. Here you can see that, for example, the volume format of 5, which means row, has a qcow compat of 0, which is basically undefined. We don't show it through the rest. And the volume format of qcow can be 1 or 2. And, it's, for example, the engine can have data center of 4.1 and also a data center of 4.0. And we will still have this qcow compat because we also support all data centers, and each volume that will be created in this DC4 will be with qcow compat 1. So we had a bug on that, for example, or at the beginning, that every volume that was created on DC4 has no qcow compat. So it should be 1. This is another thing. So once the volume is created, you can check the QEMU image info call in the VDSM log, and this call should indicate the format of the volume and its compat. So it should look basically like like this. In this example, the volume that is returned with compat 1.1 and has the format of qcow2. Okay. So here are links that might be useful. There is the qcow2 compat levels, which is the overt. This is the wiki, which some of the things in this deep dive is explained there, and give you maybe a more broad explanation of the API and how things are done. Another API is of the QEMU of qcow3 and how it was changed from the qcow2 version 2 and what's its benefits. And basically that's about it. So now I think we have time for questions, or you want me to maybe do a live demo, or whatever you think. I don't know.
Yeah, I have a question to follow up on what Marina was saying before. Like if you have mixed versions of qcow images in an image chain and you do a snapshot deletion, were you saying that there might be some compatibility issues, or should that be okay? Or does the snapshot deletion sequence actually modify do an amend of the qcow image that it's merging back into, perhaps?
if you will do delete, if you will, for example, create a new volume and we run a VM and we'll delete a snapshot and all snap. No, for example, let's take another example. We run a VM and then we create a snapshot. For example, we do a live snapshot. So this snapshot will be created with 1.1. And then we remove the snapshot, we do live merge. So basically the new volume will be still 0.10 because the live merge will basically remove the new volume. It will do commit instead of rebase.
Right.
That's the new, yeah. So it will keep the 0.10, the old volume. This is one of the things that is a known issue, and basically, since we have the ability to change all the volumes, all the disk using the amend operation, then for now we have some kind of a solution for the customer who basically has an interest of using 1.1. So basically, if he wants, he can use the amend operation, and then he can use the volumes as he like. I think that we basically counting that in the future we will have some kind of utility that will just go over the through rest and go over the volumes and amend all of them or change all of them. But we want also that the user will have the ability to choose which disk he wants to amend and how he wants it to be done, because we don't want it to make it like a wide upgrade for him without asking him or let him have the ability to choose what he wants to upgrade or not.
So Maor, what's not clear to me is it something that something post factum, or there is anything we can do to prevent the failure? That's what I'm failing to see, but maybe it's only me.
The failure, which failure are you referring to?
So is there anything? So is it something that we expect to fail if they do live merge, and we should run the amend ahead of time on all the image on all the volumes in the chain, or this is some post fact operation?
No, it's not. It's not real. It's not related to a fail operation. It's just that since you remove the new volume that was created, you basically return to the old volume that was there before, and the old volume was always 0.10. So it's like, for example, you didn't do any remove of snapshot, but you use the same disk as it was before in 4.0, so you use it with 0.10. So it's the user responsibility to, if he wants, he can go over the volumes and change them with amend. But for now, it will keep the old version. It won't change anything. It just be the same as it was before.
Okay, so no recommendations for the user, and it should work.
Yeah. It's not related to failures or stuff like that. There could be failures, for example, in the amend operation that, I don't know, sometimes the host will be non-responsive or the QEMO image will fail. And in that operation, what will happen that you will get some kind of an audit log that will say to you, you failed to amend the operation, and it's basically will show you can see in the database which volume succeeded and which volume didn't succeed, and each volume will have the compatibility if it's 1 or 2, and he can basically use the amend again, and he also can still run a VM and still use this disk. Like I said, the QEMO guarantees that even if you have a mismatch of compatibility versions through the volume chain, it still works. It should be supported. Yeah, okay. So Marini asked about the VDS client. So basically, currently the VDS client is deprecated, as far as I know.
Whatever is the new version,
Yeah,
VDSM client, client.
yeah, the new version. I think it should be. Actually, I didn't try it yet. I mean, I only use it through the REST, or I use it through the QEMU. But it's a good question. I just didn't try it because I didn't have the ability
You
to do
say
it.
I can wait. You say I can just, so if it failed on the QEMU, on the qcow image itself, we can just rerun the qcow amend command, and it will do. Okay, that works.
Yeah. It's like atomic operation. It doesn't like it can't makes your volume be and not legal or something. So that's the good thing about it. Yeah. So I can answer you about it in the mail if you want. I mean, I really didn't try at the new VDS client because there was a lot of changes there. Okay. So any more questions? Someone? Going once? So, okay. I think that so what we'll do is that first of all, my email, I will send it to you. I'm not sure if I put it on the presentation or not. You can ask me anything through my email. Thank you, Marina. And yeah, if you have any questions, you think about it later, you can send me by mail, and I will send the video and the presentation, and you can always check the wiki and also ask me in the over channel. Okay, so thank you very much for your time, and that's it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.